You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I'm back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports. The other night, Major League Baseball had a ceremony for the 9/11 tribute. Well, because we remember back in the day, there was that great comeback. It was sort of the New York baseball teams led the comeback of the nation. We got to see it sort of play out on TV in front of our eyes. Yankees, Mets. Of course, the Mets played the Braves. Mike Piazza hit a home run that was historic. Meant a lot to America. Meant so much to the people of New York. Well, Major League Baseball on Fox Sports the other day had a special presentation of Major League Baseball. Okay, Yankees, Mets. And then ESPN had the follow-up game the next night. It was scheduled purposely that way. Well, unfortunately, Fox, and I noticed it at the time, Fox screwed the pooch on their coverage of the ceremonies. It was unbelievable. I was like, we've got all these 9/11 tributes going on in the background, and here I am, listen to David Ortiz and Frank Thomas and Alex Rodriguez run their yap, okay? And essentially, we got to see almost none of it. I ended up turning it off. I was like, what's the point of having everything go on? I wanted to see Bobby Valentine, Joe Torre throw out the first pitch, but the coverage was trash. Well, Major League Baseball fans have let Fox Sports know it, and they are destroying Fox Sports. Does Fox hate America? ? Fox Sports gets roasted for letting A-Rod and David Ortiz talk over Citi Field 9/11 ceremony. To commemorate the 20th anniversary of 9/11, Major League Baseball scheduled a 3-game series between the Mets and the Yankees. Both franchises were known for their work in helping the city recover 20 years ago, with the Mets being especially remembered for hosting New York's first professional sporting event 10 days after the tragic terrorist attacks. The game culminated with an iconic home run by then Mets superstar Mike Piazza. Look, Tom Rinaldi did a story on that. It was good. Each game of the 20th anniversary series was carried by a national outlet, and Fox served as a broadcaster for Saturday night's contest from the Mets' home ballpark, Citi Field, on September 11th. Many viewers were extremely upset with the network's decision not to air the 9/11 pregame observance in its entirety. During the MLB on Fox pregame show, the network cut in and out of the ceremony, awkwardly mixing in their own commentary from Tom Rinaldi, Alex Rodriguez, David Ortiz, and Frank Thomas. Although the analysts kept the focus on 9/11, they were broadcasting from inside Citi Field, speaking over the in-stadium ceremony, which fans found deeply disrespectful, extremely disrespectful. If Fox was going to cut in and out of the ceremony, the network might have been served better putting their own pregame show in the studio. And here's fans, they got hammered. At MLB on Fox cut from the 9/11 ceremony at Citi Field to show commercials and missed the players from each team shaking hands. Does Fox hate brotherhood? Does Fox hate America? So I ended up in Twitter jail for 12 hours last night because I cursed out at MLB on Fox for their atrocious handling of the 9/11 ceremony at Citi Field. And why didn't they mention Joe Buck? Why didn't Joe Buck mention all the money raised after 9/11 by Rusty Staub and at Answer the Call? Fox totally butchered it. This guy commenced complaining about another consecutive night of garbage broadcasting. Of all things, MLB screws up, allowing the trash of ESPN and MLB on Fox to ruin the Mets 9/11 tribute weekend is the most grievous sin. MLB on Fox, how do you ruin the 9/11 city ceremony by showing analysts speak about their experiences? Then when you go down to the field, it's commercial every few minutes. Have some respect. Hashtag never forget 9/11. We go on down. Absolute horrible coverage by Fox, who somehow felt money Making money with commercials was more important than a 9/11 ceremony. Of course they picked money. In addition, no one wants to hear the talking heads in the middle of the ceremony. Should have stayed a local broadcast. Disrespectful. At MLB on Fox, at Fox Sports, at MLB. Totally classless, talking over the 9/11 ceremony and leaving the ceremony to go to commercials. Make it about the heroes and not about making more money. Why on earth would at MLB on Fox be skipping any part of this pregame ceremony for commercials? Pretty much the one thing you can't do when it's Mets Yankees on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. This guy's really bent. Screw you, Fox Sports commercials, and fading to talk instead of staying with the 9/11 ceremony. Fox dropping the ball in a big way, repeatedly going to commercial as 9/11 ceremonies is going on at Citi Field. Even when they weren't in commercial, they didn't show any of the Mets and Yankees shaking hands. I could not believe that. Instead of opting to have the camera on their talent for pointless commentary. And I couldn't really understand why these guys were talking about some of the things they were talking about. They tried to talk about 9/11, but it was like no first-hand experience with the events of having been in the stadium. Again, the Tom Rinaldi story on Mike Piazza featured Chipper Jones. It was really awesome. That was cool. John Franco was in there. But the ceremony inside the stadium was almost ignored, it felt like. Almost completely ignored. And I was like, man, why do you have these guys here talking over this historic ceremony? This was something that people really wanted to see. And it's amazing because they did a very, very good job with the Field of Dreams broadcast. It was fantastic. It was close to flawless. But then we get around to something as important as the 20th anniversary of 9/11, and Major League Baseball effed up the whole thing. Major League Baseball and Fox, their handling of that effed up the whole thing. The entire country, in much of the same way they watched 20 years ago, wanted to see that the other night. The actual ceremony, the players on the field, and you could see the players lined up. And got to see almost none of it. Almost none of it. To hear some talking heads babble on and then cut to commercials so they could cha-ching their wallets. It's repugnant. Fox Sports. Tell me what you think, black and white sports fans. Did you watch it? I wanted to see it. I really did. I was very interested. I tried to last through them talking, thinking they would get to something. And the best part of everything I got to see was Bobby Valentine and Joe Torre. God, Joe looks bad. I'm a Yankees fan, so Joe Torre, pulls at the heartstrings for me, especially going back to then. The best thing was the first pitch from those two, and at least I'm glad I got to see that. But the coverage could have been so much better. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.